I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello again and welcome back to How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. And I've done what I normally do. I have already stretched the paper and I'm just leaving a thin film of water on top of it. This is £140 sorry, Saunders Waterford paper, and I'm just going to remove the excess water off the edge, as you've seen me do before, which means you can paint right up to the edge of the paper without creating runbacks. And we're just going to get straight in with this one really. This is nickel yellow, this is azo yellow, aureolin, touch more of this around here. This is quinacridone gold. It's a beautiful colour. Just drop some Indian yellow around that as well. Just a touch around this side. Back to my quinacridone gold. And we'll be putting some misty trees in, but it's a little bit too wet at the moment, so we're going to allow this to dry off. Strengthen up the Indian yellow in places, not make it too strong. Cobalt blue, burnt sienna, just a little bit, very watery. I want this very watery. Just creating some mist by taking some out. And now we're going to leave this till the shine. As you can see the shine on the paper, where the paint is, you can see it shining back through the lens. When that has dissipated but the paper is still damp, then we'll put some wet trees for the background. Okay, I think you can see if I just tilt the board that quite a lot of the shine has gone off the paper, so it's now ready to put some wet into wet background trees in. And I did actually forget to say this is going to be a winter scene. So with a goat hair mop brush and some burnt umber and burnt sienna, I'm just going to test it first, just to watch the spread. We're just going to create some trees. Just bring this out a little bit, make it just a little bit taller. Just darkening up one or two areas, but still, it's still wet into wet, so this will bleed. Don't put random marks in like that, because it will not create a tree. You have to think about the shape that you want, the shape of trees, and try and recreate that shape. And we're just going to put some branches and tree trunks in. Soften the bottom into the mist here. Then I'm just going to darken this burnt umber and burnt sienna with some ultramarine blue, French ultramarine blue, just to create a darker colour. Just checking it just to see if it's just going to make it a touch darker. I'm going to add another layer of misty trees, but as this is a darker colour, it will bring these misty trees slightly forward, pushing the other trees back. Put some into the light. Just making sure that everything's dry. Just where the bank is, as we're going to put the river in, and we're going to re-wet that river with some clean water. Re-wet all the river area. This is the nickel yellow. Areolin. Oh. Some Indian yellow. That it will dry lighter as it's mixing with the water that's on the paper. Darken up the back edge. Still Indian yellow. Into the quinacridone gold. Just strengthening that quinacridone gold up. Really darkening it with the quinacridone gold as we come to the front. And we may later on darken this even still. Streaks in, I think. Trying to keep them straight. Just a little patch here. Let all this mingle and soften. Okay, now the background is almost completely dry. This is quinacridone gold with some burnt sienna and a little bit of burnt umber and a little bit of French ultramarine. So a lot of colour, and we're just going to bring this into the background again and create another layer of trees. Create some nice branches. Bring some in here. Taking some of them right out of the picture, and I'm leaning these in so it keeps your eye moving in towards the centre. Softening the bottom off once again with the damp brush. I'm going to leave that to dry, and we will add a further layer of branches in the trees and branches in the back to push everything else further back, and it will just add another layer to your painting. So I'm just going to let this dry now. Now that that's dry, we can now come forward with a stronger mixture of the colour, quinacridone gold with a touch of burnt umber, also with some burnt sienna and French ultramarine. And as the colour gets darker, it pushes everything back, and I'm using a rigger brush for this, and it's a number 6 rigger. We will be moving to a finer one. Just create some interesting trees. Don't forget to bring some over the trees in the background. Just going to take a brush now and just soften the bottoms of these into the ground. Also creating just a little shape to this bank at the same time. And the reason why I'm going to put some more trees in, but I just need to soften these off before they go hard. Put a larger one in here, I think. Just going over this tree. Soften it off. Re-wet the middle ground area here, where the bank going around the next set of trees. This is cobalt blue and burnt sienna. Just to give the impression of snow, as I've said. Not too much, taking it into the background. Just going to re-wet this area here. I've got the board set at a slight angle. This is a cobalt blue and burnt sienna once again. And I just want to bring this along the bank in here, just to define its edge. Strengthen this up here, as it's very close to the same level as this, so it should have the same strength. Just taking a bigger brush for this. I'm just going to re-wet the foreground area. There is more trees to go into this. I might as well get this in while I'm here and give it time to dry. Cobalt blue and burnt sienna. But I don't want this ground to be too complicated. Flicking the colour back. This now has to dry. Okay, I'm just going to re-wet the river area very quickly, as we're going to darken it a little further. I'm bringing some reflections, and the reason why I'm wetting it twice is that I don't want the paint, if I'd have done it all in one go, because all the paint would have really mingled together, and I didn't want that. And even if you're not going to put reflections up here, which I am, you wet the whole of the area so it cannot create any runbacks or cauliflowers. So we'll get onto the foreground trees. Burnt umber and French ultramarine with some quinacridone gold in it. We're just going to get this in, and I don't want to put any branches on these trees, to be honest, and I think there's enough in the background as it is. We also have a really darker mixture which I'm just going to add in. This tree comes off the page, and I'm just running this up the left hand side of the tree, and I'm just allowing it to creep back round to the other side. I'm going to do the same with this one. I've added a little bit of water into the bottom part of these trunks just to help with the flow of paint. Once again, taking the darker mixture of that colour, just adding a shadow side to the tree, back to your tree mixture. Allowing the tree trunk to thin out the higher you go. Now with the darker mixture once again, down the right hand side of both these trunks. You really do need to bring some down here, now that it's dried off. Just tapping some in, just strengthening it up. just want to pull some of the tree roots into the ground. This is Prussian blue and sepia. This is a real strong dark, and I just want to add this in. This will also be going into the reflections. Once again, I'm just adding it to, on this side, the left hand side of the tree. Do the same to them all, but remember to do it on the right hand side of this tree, and then we'll have a look when we come back to see what they look like. Now it's had time just to dry off a little bit. I'm going to add some of the darker mixture. Just the reflections. And now I have to leave all this to dry once again, and then we'll soften when we come back. I will soften the roots off in, and then we'll have another look at it, and we'll then come on to the foreground. Okay, welcome back. All the trees are done and everything's been softened off with a damp brush into the ground. So we'll move on to the foreground now. I'm just taking a number 2 rigger and just into the dark mixture once again. I'm going to put some twigs and small bushes down here that you'd find normally poking through the snow. This is a mixture of ultramarine and burnt umber. Hope you've enjoyed these videos. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe. All subscribers are welcome. It won't cost you anything, as I often keep saying. I'll leave a link in the description box to the other painting videos I've made for YouTube, and if you click on that, it will take you straight to them. Also, don't forget to soften the bottoms of these twigs in. So I'm just going to just gently soften them in. I don't think I want to do any more to this. I think that this is enough. And now you get round to the best bit. This is where you get to sign it, put a map around it, and then frame it. And like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the like button and please subscribe for future videos. So, thank you very much for watching.